A lion is a de facto king of the land, but can also be killed by hyenas. The eagle may be the king of the wind, but every night he becomes helpless in front of the owls. For the underwater world, it seems that killer whales have no one to equal themselves. But that's not true at all. Well, today you are going to find out why orcas need whale tongues, why they use other animals to play, how they attack coasters, and who is likely to kill the king of oceans. So let's go after all. I don't really need to explain that orcas are big black and white predators and that they are devilishly smart. Seriously, to understand how powerful orcas are as predators, suffice it to say that they have a detailed plan for each hunt depending on what the orca's future dinner actually is. And they almost always hunt in groups, choosing a certain tactic, for example, a shark to make them eat it. Equipped with a carousel of air bubbles for a school of small fish. But in relation to whales, it is better to see it with someone's eyes. The attack is following a brutal plan, yet it works. Orcas are turning into charge, biting, pulling whales by pectoral fins, and as a rule end up killing prey regardless of any size difference. Gets tired of such a thing. Now imagine that several medium-sized dogs are champing on you at almost the same time. They try to drown if the orcas block the whale's blowhole, and after a chase that can last for hours, the tired giant drowns. Of course, whales come in all kinds of shapes. Some of them, especially the smaller ones, are not much larger than the whales themselves. But what about the blue whale? It is believed that it is the largest creature ever found on our planet. It weighs more than 170 tons. Today we're going to eat it. Orcas must have thought and rammed it. Now think about it. Many orcas that are no more than toothed dolphins parted the blue whale, and even such a giant likes not to mess with them. But the most common prey of orcas are whale calves. It is so common that whales also protect calves of other species, and for example, once a humpback whale was seen protecting a small gray whale that was dead. They simply did not allow the orcas to finish what they started, probably because they know what happens. As for hunting, because orcas are very gluttonous, the baby of humpback whales is one of their favorite dishes, and orcas usually only eat their tongues, leaving the rest of the carcass to the scavengers because it is so tasty. The same happens with sharks. They are also carnivorous mammals. Consider orcas healthy. Eat only their liver, which means that sharks are like vitamins for them. But here I'm talking about how orcas prey on various marine animals. No one can challenge an orcas alone if it's not a sperm whale. Orcas prey on females and babies of the species, but they try to stay away from males because the heavy and powerful tail is capable of delivering fatal blows. The exact amount of force is unknown, but an adult sperm whale weighs about 80 tons, which is about 10 times larger than the classic Routemaster double-decker bus. If the sperm whale was a little more aggressive, more cunning, the orcas would not survive. That's because all those whales are large, not really smart, mostly using their tails. Now think of it this way. A sperm whale is just as clever as a human. What would you do if you were on the other side of this screen and an orca attacked a sperm whale? You will suddenly turn around and jerk with your tail or maybe your teeth because each of them weighs a kilogram. It is clever to start using them. Another predator capable of fighting them is the great white shark because this huge and terrifying fish looks so scary. The great white shark only has orcas as natural enemies. If this shark manages to bite first, its fangs can tear off any skin, no matter how thick it is. It will definitely be the winner if it attacks first and uses its special hunting moves. As I mentioned, an orca pushes the shark to the surface with its huge tail, stuns, and the orcas discover how the shark works because flipping its prey into the air confuses the move and paralyzes it, just in time for lunch. Who beats orca? I thought rays maybe, but no orcas eat them too. A saltwater crocodile has very strong bites and thick skin that an orca cannot bite, but its mouth is not large enough. I have already said that orcas have very good hunting techniques. They use them depending on what they hunt for, the landscape, or perhaps their mood. One technique really caught my attention. Look at the flippers. Seals often come out of the water on ice to rest. There they do not threaten anything, so they can relax without any problems. They float above the waves. Too heavy to go on the ice and eat the seal, it will always be able to summon its little brothers. Some predators line up, then accelerate, and then stop right in front of the iceberg. A wave pulls prey with it as far as possible. Orcas hunt in the water somehow. This is not a problem for them. They do this all the time. Sometimes, however, their prey manages to escape on the ice, and the attack of the huge wave is repeated. No one is in a hurry. As you may have noticed, orcas are smart and formidable predators. Sometimes taking your time with the hunt helps. In addition to all the traits mentioned above, orcas are known for something else. Their versatility is extremely unusual. They are playful as real psychopaths. Seriously, just look. Instead of consuming the weak seal, killer whales make him a ball and start playing with him again and again. Sometimes this is the practice to maintain that prey edge. Other times it's teaching little whales how to hunt, while other times it's just a game. It's still just a game, killing orcas as they're bored. Today what we'll do tonight is we have other animals until we die. By the way, not only seals suffer, sometimes it can be a ray, a turtle, or even a penguin. My God, a bird. Orcas enjoy eating it. Penguins, unlike other poor, feathered birds on the menu, simply can't fly and fly. They have to take refuge somewhere else. It's good to have a human near the penguin. You're fine, coward, if someone has seen Kowalski. But a boat doesn't give you 100% protection. It's not even on land. This will save you because if someone decides to eat an orca, someone will reach their target, which is about to reach the ground. Sounds like a challenge or perfect hunt to play. And what would you call this method of hunting while the orca leaps almost over the edge for a catch? It hears as if it isn't. There was a lot of creatures in the sea, so there is no need to disturb the work of nature and go to the land. Yet here's the rule. She wants a seal. Sometimes this desire can be a big problem for orcas. You can find many videos online where those predators overshot while hunting and didn't have time to come back before the tide. If this happens, it can get stuck. Although I've never encountered it, I can still hear how the seals are laughing. In that case, the only thing this orca is able to do to save itself is to ask for people's help and wait until the tide returns back to the sea. Of course, no one would have succeeded in dragging a huge animal weighing from 3 to 5 tons into the water with their bare hands, and in an empty space without people. Well, it's just natural selection working. Of course, I can't say for sure that orca populations will decline without human assistance, but many of these sea creatures owe their lives to people. Perhaps for the same reason they sometimes play with us, although it's not always like the way we play with seals. Everything sounds friendly and even pleasant, like some kind of slow music. For example, this orca Luna lost her family and became so used to people that she acted like a playful puppy, a big puppy from Mars. When you see orcas playing with people, you somehow forget. They are ferocious hunters and have no competitors at sea. If you've watched Free Willy, you might feel like you were cheated, and you're right. The biggest cheater is Hollywood. Even aquarium orcas that do the trick aren't cute and friendly creatures. The best and most influential example is Tilcum, a captive male involved in the deaths of at least 3 people. So here's the scoop. There was this girl named Keltiber Keene who had a really bad day. She slipped and fell into a pool with Tilcum and 2 other orcas. They started throwing him around like a rag doll, keeping him underwater so he couldn't breathe. Sadly, she drowned. Then there was this guy who thought it would be a good idea to sneak into the pool of Tilquat after hours. Not smart, is it? But the third incident was the most shocking. An experienced trainer named Dawn Branchow was dragged out of her hair in the water during a show. Can you imagine? In front of everyone, Tilcum treated him like a plaything. By the time anyone could help, it was too late. The show should go on, I think, because they saw orcas performing. It all went down in SeaWorld Orlando. But let's be real, these killer whales are all over SeaWorld. And it seems that no matter where they are, they do not forget their wild instincts. Surprises you, right? Orcas, or killer whales, are the ocean's top dogs, there's no doubt about that. They're not only strong, they're smart too. So why wouldn't they hunt in the middle of a pool, right? At SeaWorld San Diego, these clever creatures don't just wait for a snack to swim. No, they're much smarter than that. They actually use bait to lure birds up close. Picture this. They throw pieces of fish and cheese into the water and just hang out until the birds arrive. And guess what? It works. It's like they're just hunting for fun. Maybe it's all a game for them, like Tilcum and his playmates. Honestly, I would like to keep my distance from these people, especially if they are in captivity and are also used to humans.